guys, this is Sasha from Alaska here, and I wanted to talk to you guys about my 1974 Arctic Cat Lynx Series 1 292 single cylinder with the Kawasaki 24C292S1A engine. I believe it's, not to be too nerdy. Anyway, been rebuilding the lower half and got that completed recently, and everything was going pretty well until I popped open my piston from eBay and plugged her on in, and bam, next thing I knew, it jammed up right about here. So that's not a really good look, right? You can't get a full rotation. At that point, I started to inspect more closely beyond the bore and the stroke what the issue was. So here's the original piston for that 74 Lynx. Notice the tapered skirt. All right, that tapered skirt actually is very important because I believe that's why it doesn't get bound up. Here is the original from the 70s, I believe, power dome piston I purchased. Boom, for racing. But there's some key differences. Of course, you notice that one piston ring, you notice much thinner, you notice that taper. One thing I did not realize was so important, but I should have, was the fact that this has square, say it, square edges around its skirt, whereas this has angled. And we could do some fancy math tricks and try to figure out the exact angle of that taper, but instead of doing math, this is what I did. I got my piston, boom, piston here, and what I did next was pretty ingenious. I got a piece of paper, right? I put it around the outside edge, like so. Okay, here we are, right? Everything's groovy. I used my handy dandy pencil to mark along the edge of my paper. Boom. Now, I've got a little bit of a template. Scissors, here we go. Carefully cutting out my template. There we go. And here's this. Now, here we are with my template. And what I'm gonna do is get my new piston that doesn't fit, put my template over the new piston, match it up as closely as I can here, a little bit off, match it up really nicely, get my Sharpie, be sure to color in what needs to go, what's been holding things up, right? Okay, now we're here. If you're like me and you don't have a whole bunch of tools meant for grinding and the like, I started to get desperate. Well, so you can't use sandpaper because it's gonna give you an uneven edge, and you don't want that in your piston angles. So what I found around the house was this bevel sharpener, and it happened to have a coarse setting. And what I did next, I'm gonna do actually, is demonstrate how to use this tool to help with your piston. So, really you don't usually want to modify your pistons very much. It's a very risky situation, especially with these vintage pistons that you can't really find anymore. But on the other hand, the one what I have doesn't work, and the one I don't have and it's somewhere in the abyss and I can't get to it. So I keep doing that until, da 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 da, look at that beauty. Look at those edges, isn't that nice? Piston skirt taper.